Hey everyone, this is Taryn from Wonderfully Made Handcrafting. I am going to walk you through this tag that I made for By the Well for God's new kit for the glory of God. And today I took one of Tim Holtz tags, and I'm going to add a bunch of distress inks to this, distress oxides. I chose antique linen is what I put on just then, and now I'm taking brushed corduroy and just adding some more spots. I kind of wanted to make it look rustic and kind of almost like leather. And then in a second I'm going to take the walnut stain and go through that, just add a little bit. I didn't want to make it too dark, and I actually ended up making it a little bit darker than I anticipated at the beginning, but I really like it. I also take forest moss and just add a couple little splotches of green in there, because I just thought it really went well with the rusty color that is in the For the Glory of God kit. I just sprayed some water on that because I wanted the ink to kind of dissipate and tone it down just a little bit. But here I am, I'm going to take the stamp set from By the Well for God. It is called Fall Florals, and I'm gonna ink it up with my VersaFine ink. It's my favorite ink, just the Onyx black. And when I do that, I'm gonna just kind of put it off to the side a little bit so it's just not so center and even. I find that this ink does the best for stamps that are really detailed like this. And right now I'm gonna add the clear embossing powder from Ranger. And I just wanted something a little bit of different texture on the tag. And you can see it really pops, makes the black really pop. See, it's so cool. Anyways, it's just add a little bit of fun to the tag. I love the look so much that I grabbed the stamp set Glory of God, which is actually the stamp set that came with By the Well for God's kit. And I just took that Glory stamp and I'm going to stamp it below. So I'm going to do the same thing with the Glory stamp using the clear embossing powder. But while I'm doing that, I want to read the verse that really I was meditating over while I was working on this tag. And it is 2 Corinthians 4:16 through 18. And it is from day 9 of By the Well for God study for the glory of God. And it says, "So we do not lose heart. Though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day. For this light, momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison, as we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal." So in this study, we learn that the meaning of glory in ancient times was a word meaning heavy, and how heaviness today is kind of a negative connotation. But in this time, in the Hebrew language, it was meaning a sense of weight, but only figuratively, and in a good sense of splendor or copiousness. So when we think about glory, it's just that heaviness of splendor and glory. So back to what I'm doing here, I am taking some Neocolor 2s and mixing them with texture paste so I can put them through the stencil I have here from Tim Holtz. And this glass is perfect to just mix on. So this color is English red, and I kind of match it up with the paint swatches from By the Well for God. And when I did this, it seemed a little too orange for me, so I went into my Neocolors and grabbed a brown and also the crimson to try to get it less orangey, but still that kind of burnt red color. So I take those and then mix them up with the texture paste. It works perfectly with Neocolor 2s. And then I'm gonna kind of just swatch it over the stencil. And I want to put it in 3 places just because I like groups of 3. The only thing I do have to say about using texture paste through your stencils is you definitely want to wash it off pretty fast. So I stopped the video and just washed that off. And here I am, I'm trying to see what kind of fabric. I love adding fabric just all the texture is great for me. So I'm going through all my fabric and trying to decide what one I wanted to use. And my daughter was sleeping, my 1-year-old, and so I didn't want to use the sewing machine. So you'll see here, I kind of act crazy and I use my tiny attacher instead of my sewing machine, and it works fine. I've done it before. Sometimes if I'm not wanting to go over to my sewing machine and get it out, I'll use it. But yeah. So I'm just gonna cut a strip of this fabric I got from Hobby Lobby, I believe. I think it was last year. I always go to Hobby Lobby and grab like 1/8 of a yard of fabric that I like. It just lasts a long time with how I use it. So I'm just folding it over, like gathering it. I hope you can kind of see. And it's the same way I would use it on a sewing machine, but I'm just folding it over little by little and putting a staple in. So I probably used a lot of staples, but it'll be good. It's fine. It's cheap. And I'm gonna hide the staples behind my tag so you won't be able to see them at all. So I'm just gonna take my Scotch ATG gun and run some lines of glue tape on the back and hide those staples that way. And then I'm gonna cut off the top right there because it's curling over and it's frustrating me. So then I'm going to use this ruler fabric, and I know this was at Hobby Lobby last time I was there, but I'm gonna take it and just cut out this tannish green color, and I'm gonna make that for my little strings at the top. So that should, I'll kind of curl it over so that you can see both sides, and I'm just gonna stuff it down in. Instead of knotting it, I'm gonna use my tiny attacher again. So that should be it, and I'll be adding it to a Bible journaling page later.